I'm Stephanie, I'm a parent, and this is my 2-minute tip. When it comes to parenting, there are so many different books, podcasts, methods, and perspectives out there that it can seem a little intimidating to try and figure out where to focus our parenting energy. As our kids move from one stage of development to the next, we may wrestle with questions like cloth or disposable diapers, homemade or store-bought baby food. Will we homeschool? Send them to public school? Is private school the way to go? At each phase of their growth, we as parents are very intentional about strategically positioning our kids to take the right classes, learn from the best teachers, and participate in a variety of extracurricular and enrichment opportunities, all in an effort to see our kids succeed and live happy, fulfilling lives. Now, I'm not saying any of these things are bad in and of themselves. It's good to think about these things. And I'm sure all of our efforts as parents stem from a deep desire within us to set up our kids for a bright and hopeful future. But how often do we consider how our kids' spiritual development factor into this process? I think sometimes it can be tempting to want to leave the spiritual stuff to the Sunday school teachers or the youth pastors. But as parents, we have a unique opportunity and privilege to disciple our kids and model for them what it means to follow Jesus in the everyday stuff of life. I remember when my kids were younger, we went on a family trip with some of our closest friends. And one night, when all the kids were fast asleep, the parents sat around and talked about what we hoped our kids would become in the future. We talked about what universities they would attend, what career paths they might choose, and who they might marry. And as each of us went around and talked about our dreams for our kids, one of the parents in the room very humbly and very sincerely said, "In the future, I just want to see my kids in heaven." It was a statement that all of us in that room believed, but in that moment, it brought us all back to what truly matters most. Apostle Paul in the book of 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 8 said, "For physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come." If we are intentional about ensuring our kids' bright and hopeful future in this life, what are we doing to ensure their eternal future? Putting our parenting priorities in check and making an effort to help our kids develop a genuine relationship with Jesus, if you think about it, is all that's really going to matter 100 years from now. That's why it's so important to be part of a spiritual family, the church, and to surround our kids with loving, godly influences to help them grow in their character as well as their faith. That's why it's important that we as parents are also growing in our faith and sharing life in a community of people who follow after God. And that's why, most importantly, we need to depend on God's power to help keep our parenting priorities in the right place.